guys. Whew, sorry I've been MIA for the last couple of weeks. Having my yearly illness, I guess you call it. I'm allergic to everything where I live. I'll move someday, but at least once or twice a year, especially when a lot of the stuff is blooming, I get like bronchitis or pneumonia and stuff, and so, you can tell from my voice I'm not quite over it yet, but that's where I've been. Let's see, what else was I gonna... The hair, short hair. So they couldn't fix the haircut, the really bad haircut that I had, so they had to just chop it. And so I guess this, the growing your hair out and donating it for charity, like I was already halfway there. It was like past my shoulders, so it wasn't going to take long. I guess I'm starting over at the very beginning now. I don't know how long that's going to take me to grow it, but here we go. We'll starting over. And then I think the last thing I had to say was, I know I did a review of this first episode before, and it was really long. But I got a suggestion that maybe instead of going slide after slide after slide and just telling you the whole story that's already there, it would be to kind of summarize and kind of more tell you my impressions of the episode, which I think is a really good idea. It would probably be less boring. The only thing is it makes me a lot more nervous. This just doing anything on here makes me nervous, which is why I'm doing it in the first place, but I'm like, if I don't have... Me and words don't get along very well, especially when I'm trying to explain things. So I do have notes in case you hear me ruffling through things here. But I will do my best. I will do my very best. All right. Okay, let's try this. So first episode. One thing I really liked was how they started it. With those rock wall paintings, and they started in this story mode with this guy, this deep voice telling you this story of the battle of the demons and the gods, and I love that they use the rock wall paintings, the petroglyphs as I call them anyway, because that to me says old. It says ancient, long time ago, which this happens to be a long time ago. It's kind of like a starting point, I guess. They're telling you what happened beforehand. It introduces a couple of the main characters, Donghua and according to Google, Miao Luo. If it's wrong, it's Google's fault. And you get to see these guys in this epic battle, and I gotta say the graphics are amazing. Like the two galaxies, the red one and the blue one. I don't know if that represents the demons and the gods, their worlds. So cool in the battle too, especially Miao Luo, all the flaming rocks behind her and stuff. It looks really cool. But and then I think they mention his sword at the beginning here, which is something I think needs to be noted. I think it's called Kanghi. I'll have to look that up. I'll look up that pronunciation. But it is his sword, and it is really powerful. He made it. So you're in on this battle. Another scene at the very beginning that you should probably take note of. There are the drops of blood. There's 2 drops of blood that you see falling from Miao Luo into the world. Those will come into play later. Remember them. I read the book, so I already knew, but for the rest of us. Also, you can tell they're both very powerful, and neither of them wins really, like, because neither of them die. But he uses all of his cultivation and locks her into this little this jade locking stone. And the only reason I bring that up is because that's when I first heard cultivation for this show, and I was kind of like, what the heck do they mean by cultivation? Like, I know generally what it means, but what I'm assuming is that their power or their magic or whatever they have, it doesn't just grow. Like, you don't get older, and the older you are, the more powerful you are. I think you have to cultivate it. You have to take care of it. There are things you have to do in order for your power to grow. So you have to cultivate that. You take care of it, make it grow. And then, okay, let's see. They do a lot of introductions of like people in the places that they belong. So Fangju, you get to first see her in her, I don't know, world, place, whatever. According to Google, Qingju, which is gorgeous. Let me tell you, all those waterfalls, so pretty. And you see, when you first see her, she's in a class, so you're thinking a young person. Apparently, this is like 30,000 years later. And she's 30,000 years old, which I'm like, that's old. But then I guess for these guys, that's young. But when you first see her, your first impression is a child. I mean, she's an adult. She's obviously an adult, but I mean, she's got these little buns that I think are adorable, and I wish I could do them in my hair too. And she's just so, childish, like she's not paying attention. I think it's like Buddhist theories or something. Totally not paying attention. She's painting, which is exactly something I would be doing if you could look at my notebooks from school. Every page has like drawings on it instead of schoolwork. But, and then another thing to note, the little birthmark on her forehead. Keep that in mind too, because that is something else that will come into play later. Again, I already know because of the book, but keep that in mind. Although I did notice, I'm like, okay, this class, well, first off, it's in a beautiful location. I don't know if I'd pay attention anyway, but that would make it worse. But the class, the way they treat the teacher, I'm like, dang, if we treated teachers like that, with that respect, and gave them that authority. I mean, I know there are bad teachers, but I think for the most part, and if they were treated like that, the quality of teacher you could have and the quality of education. Okay, anyway, I won't even get on that. But the whole episode, like everything she does, leads you to believe she's naive, and she's just like a little girl almost, very childish, very very spoiled. You also learn she's the only red nine-tailed fox in existence. She's already getting into a lot of trouble. They're plotting to make trouble, and she accidentally gets thrown into the demon lands, and she accidentally finds the cave, which she can't go in. She tried, but she didn't. She can't go in. And Miao Luo is in there, and I don't know if she was asleep or what was going on, but she knows. She's awake. She's alert now. Obviously she's causing trouble. Fangju's causing trouble. She just woke this lady up. I know, and then I noticed with Fangju a lot, the music is really happy. Really happy. Actually, it reminds me of Ewoks, the Ewok music, but that's just... Anyway, and then, but when you get to see Donghua, you get the meditation music. And the first time you see it, well, first you think he's asleep, but then you figure out he's fishing. I'll say you don't get too much of an impression of him, because I mean, he's supposed to be pretty emotionless anyway. When you get to meet Lian Song, you get to see them interact. You can see a sense of humor for both of them and how they interact with each other, which is hilarious. I absolutely love it. I love Lian Song calls him a weird old man, and then like he does this, you know, proves him wrong, like he's all wise, and then at the very end he splashes Lian Song, gets him soaking wet, and you know, which is kind of a childish thing to do, but so you can see something of that there. Something like when he saves Fang Zhu in the Demon Land, I wasn't sure. I'm not sure what to make of that. Because he never looks at her. Like, he comes floating out of the sky like a, crouching tiger, hidden dragon thing or something. That's what it reminds me of anyway. But he never looks at her. He saves her life. He never looks at her. When the demons are trying to be like, what the heck are you doing? He never admits to it. And to the point that they're going to have a fight. And I'm like, okay, does he want to fight? Is he provoking them into this fight? Or does he really not know what to do? Which you wouldn't think so. I mean, but Lian Song comes and you get to see another side of him. Instead of the playful guy he usually is, he has really good diplomatic skills. He can really use his words well. It gets him out of that. I know one of my favorite scenes here, not the scene, but just the look, is when Lian Song promises that Donghua will give the demons one promise, and the look on Donghua's face is just priceless. I absolutely love it. This is my favorite. I've been told I do that face really well too, like what the heck are you talking about? Or, of course, I've been told I do the I will kill you look really good too, so, but anyway. Although he says if it doesn't involve killing and it doesn't go against morality or justice, he will give them a promise. So I guess he saw the sense in it. And that kind of gives you a little bit of insight to his character. And you know what? We need more of his character in this world right now. I mean, it doesn't involve killing. We need morality. We need justice. Everything's going crazy right now. We need more people like that. But anyway, oh, and while they're in the Demon Land, you never really get to see a lot of the Demon Land. I don't think. I don't remember. But what you do see, I mean, that's what I think of when you think demon. You're like, oh yeah, that looks like a Demon Land. But you do get to see that they are still struggling. They're still coming back from this war. They're fighting among themselves, and it's not a good thing. And you get to see, let's see, what are their names? 3 of the main demons that you get to meet. Zhu Yang, he's the leader. Yan Qiwu, you really get to know him later. And this is Google again, Ni Chuyin. And him, I mean, even his looks, you just look at him and know he's not gonna be up to any good anytime soon. Let's see. You do get to meet her uncle, Bai Zhen, and another ancient deity, Jian. He's kind of like along the lines of Donghua. They call him Dijun too, or he has the title Dijun. They don't actually call him that. which I think means Your Majesty. That's what comes up on the screen anyway. You get to meet these guys, and you get to see how they treat Wenju and what they think about her. I know at one point they talk about how she causes so much trouble, but she never thinks about fixing it. Like, there's never a problem. Something else always fixes it, or, I mean, there's no consequences, and that is another good point to keep in your head. Because this comes back to bite her in the butt. I mean, it does quite a few times, but one time in particular, it's just like, there you go. This is real life. This is what happens. This is what you needed to know. And they also think that it's funny that she likes Donghua. Because he's so cold and emotionless, and she's so happy and just, you know, it's totally opposite. And after Donghua saves her life and she get the look on her face, you can tell it's gone from interested in Donghua to I am head over heels, crazy in love with this guy now. And she goes and reads everything she can about him, which that reminds me of me. I still need to go reading all about Gao Weiguang. He's my crush. So cute. And I don't know, something about her reminds me of me in that respect. You know, maybe I'll have to look something of him up after and do a video or something. Okay, anyway, off track. But you do get to learn a lot of things about Donghua, like, he's definitely up on a level, like, almost Buddha. Buddha is still a little higher than him on, like, meditation and stuff like that, but Donghua he's able to choose whether to be a god or a demon. Which I'm like, oh, how do you choose that anyway? But I loved the story of why he chose gods. Love the story. Love that he throws these women out, and that they keep coming back just so that they can be held by him for just a minute. And even though he throws them out, like, literally down the steps, till he finds a man in his room. Although, even though he is a god, and he's in Tai Chen Palace, which is absolutely gorgeous, he still has to hide, because he's still popular with women, from what I understand. But anyway, so Jian and Baizhen are like, okay, it's funny that she likes him, but I guess she'll learn that about, what is it? Pain of seeking love with no reply. Which I totally get too. I like Jian telling her that story, which is supposedly the true story. That's not in the history books. And I thought it was kind of fun afterwards when they're talking about, like, okay, well, what is Donghua like then? He doesn't like women, he doesn't like men, like, and they start talking about, like, oh, he must like, you know, mammals, like all of his rides are tigers or lions, which I love tigers and lions and bears. Sorry. And he's like, well, so he must like fierce mammals, and then Fang Zhu is like, oh, I'm a mammal, I'm fierce, and she does that little growl with her claws, and absolutely adorable. Another one of my favorite parts. Anyway, so she gets people to help her into Tai Chen Palace. This sounds like something I would do too. I'm like, I think she's using the fact that she needs to repay him, that she's justifying it, like using that to get close to him and get his attention. And because she loves him. Which sounds, yeah, that totally sounds like something I do. And but she gets help. I think Jian takes that little mark off her forehead. Although I don't know why you can't recognize her without the mark. Maybe it's like one of those Superman things, you know, the glasses are off and all of a sudden he's different. Maybe. She fake cries. She fake cries to get somebody to help her into the palace, to get Ximing to help her into the palace. And that fake cry is so childish. You think of a little child, it's perfect. And the way she always skips around and stuff. Okay, anyway. So, she's gonna be this fairy maid. She doesn't want anybody to know because that's below her station. So that she can repay Donghua. Let's see, I think when you're in the palace, you get to see, I think it's Zhonglin. He works for Donghua. I wanted to just give him a mention because you do get to see him once. And then, you also get to meet Zai He, which I think, so her father was one of Donghua's generals in that huge war at the beginning. And I guess he passed away? I don't remember, it's been too long. But she has been raised in Taichen Palace. He's been kind of like her foster brother and raised her. And she... Well, it's interesting because she seems spoiled, but so does Feng Zhu. I think the difference to me was that Zai He, like, she gets everything that she wants, but she doesn't have that love and that family connection. She doesn't have emotionally what she needs, I guess. Whereas Feng Zhu does. She's totally different. Totally spoiled in a different way. And the result for Zai He is she's very jealous. She's very stuck up. She's very, I don't know, her self-esteem is not very good. You can see when she's choosing the maids, totally jealous. Anybody beautiful that might take Donghua's attention, they're out. And she, yeah, you can tell she's gonna be trouble. And then I loved how they ended out the episode with the maid telling Feng Zhu, stay out of trouble and don't let Zai He see you because you are beautiful and she will get jealous and she will throw you out. And then it kind of fades on Feng Zhu's face and you know from this whole episode, that's what she does. She gets in trouble, she gets noticed, she gets, like, you know there's gonna be some big conflict, you know something's gonna happen, and you want to know what. And the same with Donghua, you want to know if is he gonna notice her, and you kind of want to know more about him too, and as well as some of the other characters that you get to see in there. Okay, I think that was it. Was that a good enough summary? I think so. I mentioned Tingxu was beautiful. I mentioned Taichen. Did I mention the 10-mile peach orchard? That's where Jian and Bai Zhen are always hanging out, which is also gorgeous. 10 miles. I mean, I grew up in a place where peaches were a popular thing, so was cheese too, actually. Didn't look like that, but I mean, the place I grew up was beautiful, but it wasn't like that kind of beautiful. What else is that all? I think I mentioned all the characters that show up here. You get to see Lian Song gossiping because Ximing hears everybody in the palace talking about Donghua saving somebody, so you get that kind of a thing. Yeah, I mean, I think I got everything. Of course, I'll probably post this and then it'll be like, no, I forgot something. But this is way better than like an hour long. It's only 25 minutes is still kind of long, but hopefully it's not as long. So anyway, episode 1. Definitely interesting. I liked learning about stuff like the cultivation. I don't know if that's like a Chinese thing or if that's just her, the lady that wrote the book. The acrobatics and stuff. It reminds me of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's I don't know a lot of Chinese movies except for that one and like Jackie Chan. I love Jackie Chan. But yeah. Okay. I think I might go look up some stuff on Gao Weiguang. See what I can find. I'll make another movie or something, or video or something. And then I'll end this one because 25 minutes is good. Okay. So, comment, like, subscribe. Hopefully we can get to episode 2 sometime soon. Oh yeah, my social media, I'll have it in the description below. Unless I did an introduction. If I didn't, it'll be in the description. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time.